Happy 2021, everybody. Today we're going to cook a mountain man breakfast using my Dutch oven. So I thought it'd be appropriate if I brought my mountain man tools. I got my Case XX Bowie knife and my tomahawk. So let's split some wood here, make some kindling. This is a pretty good chopper for splitting wood. I think the tomahawk works a little bit better for the heavy stuff. But they're both a lot of fun. I'll talk a little bit about the mountain men of the 19th century today. In particular, I want to talk about the fur trade. And at one time there were 3,000 mountain men, and then the fur trade died in the 30s because the European trend was to switch over to silk hats. So beaver fur came out of fashion, and along with that, the fur trade. So then a lot of the mountain men became scouts or guides or joined the military. So, but there were mountain men for most of the 19th century, what I define as a mountain man. Today we're going to cook a Dutch oven mountain man breakfast, and although it's not a very authentic meal, it's still going to be a lot of fun. I think you'll enjoy it. This is a Green River knife. It's very popular back in the day. You can still buy them. This is a Russell company, oldest knife company in America. Let's give that a try, shall we? I brought my own firewood because it's been raining. In fact, it was raining about an hour ago. And a lot of the local wood is wet. I put the wood that I found around the campsite down on the bottom so it can slowly dry out. But it looks like this is gonna take... Oh yeah, I can already feel the heat. Sun will come out, it'll be really nice. This tree just recently fell down in one of the campsites. Look at that. I'm amazed that held it up. Looks like it slightly damaged the tent platform. So that's what I'm going to cook today. I'm going to use potatoes instead of hash browns. So let's see how well this works. Now the real mountain men didn't actually have readily access to potatoes. They ate mostly meat. In fact, they ate very few vegetables at all. And the reason they were able to live off of meat was because they ate the entire animal, except for like the fur. And that gave them fiber and vitamins. So a lot of the organs and the hooves and the hide, all that stuff was put to good use, and it had vitamins in it. And some of those mountain men, they lived to be in their 70s, so it is possible to live with very little vegetables. But vegetables are a lot healthier and they taste a lot better. So I'm doing it this way. So I need to fry up the meat and the potatoes. This is our breakfast sausage. I don't know if I'm going to use the whole thing. It's quite a bit. This is a spoon that I carved recently out of yellow cedar driftwood. hot. There we go. So now I'm going to fry up the potatoes. And I'll add all the rest of the ingredients. Oh, that looks great. I think we're ready to add all the rest of the ingredients. I think I'm going to take it off so I can do it civilized. I wish you could smell that. I'm going to add the eggs. These are 4 eggs because I'm doing half a recipe. I doubt mountain men had access to cheese. Except maybe at the trading post. We're going to put the cover on it and cook it for 20 minutes, I think, is what it said. I need to look that up. Put some coals on top of it too. Maybe I'll just put this whole log on top of it. That. It's a little smoky because I've got some wet wood in there from the beach. But it's working pretty good. So I want to talk a little bit more about the mountain men. I was doing some reading, and there's a couple of companies in America in the 19th century. So I wrote it down here. So American Fur Company, 1808 to 1847, and one of their fierce competitors was the Rocky Mountain Fur Company. And that company was started by William Ashley in 1822. And he put this ad out in the newspaper calling for 100 men to go with him fur trapping. And so those 100 men were nicknamed Ashley's 100. And that eventually turned into this company, Rocky Mountain Fur Company. And then a couple other fur companies of note. Now these are Canadian. Of course you've heard of the Hudson Bay Company. They were founded in 1670, and then the Northwest Company in 1783. So Canada had a much longer history of fur trapping than America. But the reason the mountain men came about was that the natives, or Indians is what they call them, they weren't too keen on trapping beaver, and so that's when they started hiring Europeans or white people from the East Coast to go out west. And it was a very dangerous occupation. A lot of these fur trappers were killed by Indians, and some were mauled by grizzly bears. And then there, of course, there was other fights and famine and disease and everything. So it was a really rough life. And the movie that came out about Hugh Glass, The Revenant, is not really very accurate. Hugh Glass was actually mauled in August, and they showed it as a winter scene, and there really isn't any proof that he had a son. He did live with the natives for a few years, so he could have had a son, but if he did, his son would have only been 4 years old. So there's, it's based loosely on the legend of Hugh Glass, but there's a lot of fiction in that movie, but it's still a really good movie, and it won all sorts of awards and everything. And it's a very interesting topic to read about. Another thing about Hugh Glass was that the movie got wrong was he was trying to get his revenge on the two men that left him for dead. But when he finally found Bridger, he realized that Bridger was just a boy. He was 19 at the time. And so he forgave him. And smoke just follows me around. So he didn't kill Bridger. And then the other man, what was it? Frederick? Fitzgerald. The other man, Fitzgerald, he was the man who basically was at fault here. And he had joined the army. And it was an army captain. He said, if you kill a soldier, then you're going to go to jail. So he did get his rifle back from Fitzgerald, but he wasn't able to take his revenge. And so I like the story about him forgiving for the wrong that was done. And I think that's a really good theme for 2021, is forgiveness, forgetting about the past, moving on. So that's kind of the message that I'm sending to you. If you have any grievances or hold any grudges with anyone, 2021 is a good year to put those behind you. Let that coast a little bit. It's really smoking good. Oh, wow. That looks fantastic. Look at that. That is fantastic. I gotta get a picture of that. Oh, this is gonna be good. There's a family that's walking by. It's crispy, that's for sure. Oh man, this looks fantastic. Mountain Man breakfast for lunch. This is fantastic. That is really good, man. Take a look at that. I don't know if you can see it or not. That is really delicious. The smoke is just not going to give up on it, is it? I think any mountain man would be honored to eat this meal.